Welcome to day 29 of the course in Mastery. We're down to our final 2 days, which makes today's principle more important than ever. Today is about the power of focus. Sometimes we learn life's most powerful lessons when we least expect it. Today we're going to do things a little differently and watch a clip of Tom Wood relating one such lesson to Mastery TV's affiliates and customers at our sold-out Founders Conference with visitors from 13 countries around the globe. Here's Tom.
And the most important thing you can take from this conference is what I consider for me the true secret to success. I'm going to tell you a story, and hopefully the story will explain to you what that secret is. When I was 23 years old, I lived in Japan. And in Japan, the tallest mountain is called Mount Fuji. The Shinto faith actually encourages their people to climb Mount Fuji in the middle of the summer when the snow is melted and you can get to the top of this active volcano, or I should say inactive volcano. Now, as you climb up to the top, they have stages, different stages, and it's a trek every summer. And as you climb up to the top, there are stages, and they say that the 5th stage is the line between heaven and earth. And when you get to that 5th stage, you start to see the sun in a different way. The sunrise creates different colors than you've never seen before, and you start to understand how they could perceive this as being heaven. It's so beautiful. So we decided, my friends and I, that we would climb Mount Fuji in the middle of the night, just like the Shinto faith does, to get up to the top and see the sunrise. Along the way, we are enjoying ourselves, and there are thousands of people climbing. It's a tough climb. 14,000 feet in the air. The air is thin. And along the way, I met this old lady. She was 92 years old. She's climbing. It takes 5 hours for a normal person to climb to the top. For this old lady, it had taken her already 5 days. She has done this 50-plus times. And I looked at her, and if anybody knows me, I can't let something like this pass me by to find out what it was. What is the secret to her success? So I stopped her and I said, "Ma'am, can you just tell me, what is the secret to your success?" And she looked up at me, bent over with a hump on her back from carrying rice all her life. She looked up at me and said with the accent of a villager, "Sumimasen, oyama no mimasu." To this day, I have no idea what that means. But it sounded really important. Oh, I'm kidding. I actually understood her. The Japanese she said was, "Excuse me, I'm climbing the mountain." And I was a little taken aback. I thought, how rude. You know, I've been talking to your companions. They're telling me all about you, that you have all this, energy and drive, and you've been climbing all your life, and you have no appreciation for people. You have no respect. I mean, just a visitor. You can't just treat people with respect, I just didn't. It just kind of blew me. I just started being judgmental. Maybe you've been judgmental before. This was one of the times where I started getting judgmental. So I kept climbing, and along the way, they have these shacks up along the side of the mountain, and inside they have little fires going so you can warm up. And my buddy and I decided we'd go in one of the shacks just almost to the top, but not quite at the top. And we went into one of the shacks, and there were a whole bunch of Japanese people, and they're like, "Oh, American! American! Ah, irashaimase! Drink sake!" We're like, "No, we're getting to the top." And they're like, "Oh, it's my family sake. You must drink." And we're like, "Well, if it's your family sake..." Whoa. He goes, "Family special." Hey, give me like the extra sake. One more. And we're like, no. Okay, I guess we'll have one more. Boom. Whoa. He goes, "Sake at 14,000 feet." And you know, the Japanese are such social people that we had to have one more. So we had one more, and we were just having like a blast, you know, laughing, you know, just like we did down at the bottom in all the bars, but just having a good time like you usually do when you're drinking a little too much and, you know, and hanging out with people you haven't met before. At least I have a lot of fun. I don't know about everybody else, but we had a lot of fun. And then finally my friend goes, hey, you know, I think it's time to go. So we decided to go, and we opened up the door, and we missed it. The sun had already begun to rise. We decided to run to the top of the mountain, drunk. Gotta see the sunrise. We get up to the top of the mountain. No air up there. And we look out over the ridge of the volcano. A sea of black hair. The Japanese watching the sunrise, giving the most honorable, spiritual, just an incredible experience, watching them all yell, "Bonsai! Bonsai! Bonsai!" Just amazing. As we caught our breath and, you know, just tried to watch the sunrise and try and get into that spiritual spot that we were not in because we were late, we looked over, and there on a rock, with her hands on her knees and her eyes closed and the sun warming her face, was the old lady. And I realized something really important that I hope you take from here today. That lady was focused. In her mind, she said, "Excuse me, I'm climbing the mountain." Where me, in my mind, I let distractions get in my way. Just a little cup of sake, but I missed it. She would not miss it. When you leave here tonight, you go home, somebody's going to distract you. I guarantee it. "Hey, it's bowling Wednesday. Come on, you always bowl." And you'll have to say, "No, excuse me. I'm climbing the mountain." Somebody's going to say, "Hey, you know, I've done a lot of research on technology, and I have a PhD in technology, and under my PhD, I've realized that streaming is impossible, and it will never work for the full scale like you're explaining, and television will never make it on the internet." And you have to say, "Excuse me, I'm climbing the mountain." And then someone is going to come up to you and say, "Listen, we don't have any money." And you say, "Excuse me, I'm climbing the mountain." And somebody's going to say, "No, you can't do it. You've never made anything in your life." And you're going to have to take a stand and say, "Excuse me, I am climbing the mountain."
Tomorrow is the final day of the Course in Mastery, and we're going to cover a lifestyle that can positively affect every area of your life and is applicable to everything we've covered this last 30 days. Make it a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.